If you've been to my channel before, you've probably noticed that I have very strong opinions about animated features.
What if hell exists? Can't imagine it's much different than this.
I love animation, and it really gets under my skin when it's not done right. I actually saw Coco for the first time the other day, and it inspired me to do this video because that shit was done right. Like, god damn, that shit was good. And if you've never seen it before, it's on Netflix now, and it won this year's Oscar for a reason. For those of you who follow me on Twitter, you may have noticed me shitting on the new Wreck-It Ralph trailer. And I've been feeling bad about doing this, especially since the movie's not even out yet. It's just that the premise already seems so much like the Emoji Movie, which is a film I hate profoundly. And I've already talked for way too long about the Emoji Movie previously, but for the sake of this video, just know that that movie was not done right.
Bye, Felicia.
God. When you don't care about your movie and you're only in it for the money, the audience can always tell. You hear it in the actors' voices and you see it in the quality of the animation. And if you don't care about your movie, then why the fuck should I? An example of people who do care? The people who worked on the new Incredibles movie coming out soon. You might have seen those screenshots people shared showcasing the detail on the clothes. Like, damn son, that's how you do it! That's why it's taken so long for this movie to come out, because they worked so damn hard to outdo themselves. They realize who they are and what they mean to the animation industry. They're Pixar, and people expect the best from them, so they always do their best to deliver. Now, let me direct your attention to another big boy in the animation game, DreamWorks Pictures. When you think of DreamWorks, you picture some visually beautiful films. How to Train Your Dragon, Kung Fu Panda, Rise of the Guardians, Megamind, Spirit. Even Shrek was quite well done for its time. As a matter of fact, it won the Academy Award in 2001 for Best Animated Feature. So obviously, DreamWorks isn't a company that fucks around. Which brings me to the biggest boy of them all. DreamWorks Pictures' 2017 Oscar-nominated film, The Boss Baby. Okay, I'm actually really excited about this right now because I feel like I might be able to convince you, the viewer, to be as angry about this film as I am. Because it's not very hard to do that. Now let me tell you right now that I have never actually seen this movie. And that might make you think, oh well fuck you then, how you gonna hate a movie you've never seen? Well, let me tell you. Actually, better yet, let me show you. While we were watching the Oscars this year, my roommate was reading an article titled 5 Mistakes You Missed in The Boss Baby. We checked it out, and I actually cried pathetic tears because I couldn't believe what I was seeing. Now, this article only had pictures, but I went to Netflix, recorded my desktop, and made these GIFs so that I could show them to you. Do you notice anything off about these GIFs? In case you don't understand why I'm so upset, let me explain. You see how the Boss Baby's brother, I don't fucking know his name, he jumps from the foreground to the background here? Well, by the laws of perspective, he should shrink in size as he moves farther away from the camera, but he doesn't. He stays the same size as he was when he initially jumped. No! And then if that wasn't bad enough, they do it again with the Boss Baby himself. No! And then if that wasn't enough, there's one final shot where they are both significantly bigger than their parents because the perspective is wrong. Look at that, oh my god! No! Let me remind you that this is an Oscar-nominated film, which irritates me even more. First of all, this means that whoever edited The Boss Baby somehow didn't notice these mistakes or just didn't care to fix them, which is completely unacceptable. How did no one at the viewing party of this movie stop and be like, hey Jim, those 3 shots in the living room are completely ass backwards? And second of all, it means that the Oscar person who decided The Boss Baby would even be nominated didn't care about these mistakes either. Which just further proves my personal theory that the animation section of the Academy Awards is severely neglected. You know what else was nominated for an Oscar this year besides Coco? Loving Vincent. Do you know what Loving Vincent is? Loving Vincent is a feature-length film about the life of Vincent van Gogh, where every single frame of this movie is an oil painting. It took like 7 years to make this movie. It is the definition of caring about your movie. And it's in the same category as the film that did this. And that is unacceptable, and if you couldn't tell, it seriously pisses me off. Ooh, I'm triggered. People wonder why I talk about Pennywise so much, and I mean, that's a subject for a whole nother day. But it's essentially because of the passion and energy that Bill Skarsgård put into this role. I've heard interviews with him where he said he had intense nightmares about Pennywise and even a slight depression through playing this part.
Probably 10 full days of just kind of this exorcism of like nightmares of Pennywise. Like pretty much every night there was nightmares.
But he did it because he was excited about playing this legendary character and breathing new life into it. And everyone involved in that movie, down to the 12-year-old actors, understood what kind of movie they signed up for. They knew that it was a Stephen King story, and one of his most well-known ones. So they had to do it right, and they absolutely did.
I had hopes, but I was not prepared for how good it really was. Skarsgård was great as Pennywise, and he's got big shoes to fill.
It's the same thing with the new Deadpool movies. Those only got made because of how much Ryan Reynolds believes in them, and how important he knew they are to the fandom.
The writers of Zombieland wrote the film, and I've been trying to get it made for 11 years.
And the only reason those movies work is because everyone involved in them wants to be a part of them. When you care about what you're working on, people can tell. Great movies are only great because the people involved in making them care about them so much. They believe in the capacity it has to inspire people. And like I said before, when you don't care, the audience can always tell. So, what has been the point of me screaming about animation for however long I've been screaming about animation? It's this. No matter what business you end up in, care about what you're doing. Put passion into your work and outdo the morons who are only in it for the money. And when you do it because you love it. And that the boss baby sucks. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk.